Welcome to part 3 of Katawa Shoujo. If you are new and would like to do some catching up, feel free to do so by clicking the playlist link in the description, and that'll take you to parts 1, 2. It'll take you to future parts as well, such as 4 and 5, and God knows how many of these we're gonna do, but however many we'll do, will be in the list. I've got some throat coat tea. And yeah, up to 20. I don't know what would be my hard limit. It's gonna take a while at this rate. Yeah, the playthrough timer on it, like the expected time for completion, like playing at a normal pace, was about 7 hours. But I think it's gonna take us a bit more than 7 hours. Partially because I'm reading it all, and partially because I have been stopping to talk about things a little bit lately. Jackson, thank you. Act 1 is kind of long, but yeah. Reading out loud and streaming takes longer, yeah. And then I'm interacting with chat, yeah. Then I'm catching up on super chats, and 1 minute slots on the poll, yeah. Rigged Lily's not on the poll. 1 route is like 7 to 8 hours. Streaming a VN always takes longer. Comfy time, by the way. Jordan, then come big BB. It's been worth the ride so far. I will admit, with streaming visual novels, I get anxious that it will take too long and will get boring. Record noise, thank you. Hello, Blinky Rabbit, thank you. But I've already committed. I already made a bunch of waiting rooms for at least 5 parts. And I mean, like, by that point, like, stopping at that point would just be absurd, right? President of Solid, his wife, thank you for the 100 HKs. Happy birthday from East Kowloon. Sorry for the 900 ping. No worries, buddy. Thank you. Ubinex, thank you. It's been fun so far. Tangents are important. These streams have been fun. I'm glad you think so. This is Pete Comfy Peppa. Don't change a thing. The curse of streaming visual novels. I really wish more streamers would do that. It's a great genre. I think visual novels are one of those things that are better as, like, video highlights, right? Because then you can just, like, click through. Or, if like, the person reading messes up, they can just, like, cut out those parts, whereas you guys have to sit there and watch me trip over the same word 5 times. Phil Saxon, thank you. It's my birthday. How you feeling today, Pippa? Pretty good. I hope you're having a great birthday, Infernal Saxon. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's a nice change from high energy, Pippa. It has its own charm. Where tripping's part of the fun. Tripping over words is part of the live experience. Watching improving your English skills in real time is good, though. Oh my god. I always wanted to do that thing that people do where they volunteer at libraries to, like, read aloud books to children and stuff. But I just don't trust myself to be able to speak coherently. First of all, I have no idea how you actually volunteer for that kind of thing. Secondly, I just have no confidence in myself. I would stumble 10 times worse in person than online. Just get your own kids. I'm just gonna kidnap some kids off the street and be like, hey, Johnny, you wanna hear a story time? This one's about a pigeon that's not allowed to drive a bus. Can I go home? No. Now sit down. Hey, thank you. Happy Woman's Day or whatever. What? Is it actually Woman's Day? 2 people have said this so far. Space Guy, thank you. These have been my favorite streams so far. Hell yeah. For best day, thank you. Hey, Pippa. I know you got turned off by Shizune's behavior last stream, but have you considered that she has massive galungas, just huge bazongas, enormo? Oh my god. Isn't Pippa thank you? It's like Pippa's reading me a bedtime story. Tuck me in, Pippa. Okay. I tucked you in. Sleep well. Like, how invested you get? Take in one of Urika's cubs. She has more than she needs. True. Spare some children for the rest of us, Urika. No, Rainy. Well, It's Katawa time. Load. The fox, thank you. Hey, Pippa. The good luck kiss you gave me the other week worked. I passed all my exams. Thanks, Oshi. Hell yeah, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Alrighty. February 29th. We've been playing for 4 hours and 41 minutes so far. That's pretty good, I'd say. That's pretty decent progress in game, I would think. We'll see how long it actually takes us. Oh, I'm covering the text a little bit. Yeah. Maybe like this. Maybe this is good. My morning alarm. Oh. Ah! I forgot. I do the reverb. I'm messing everything up immediately. Don't worry, guys. I'll recreate the alarm clock sound so that way we can start off on the right note. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome for that level of immersion. My morning alarm goes off. Wait, that's like too much reverb. My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health, after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try to give everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? The reverb is messed up. This is the wrong kind of reverb. There we go. Is this one better? Yeah, this one's better. The other one echoes too much. But maybe. Is this one good? Whoop. This one's library reverb. Library. Dark bloom. Maybe this one. I think this one's good. Okay. But then it doesn't have like any echo. I think music club's good. Okay, we're good. Let's go. If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least, that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Too much of a godlike echo? Yeah. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Whoa, it's you! I'm surprised to see you again. Why's that? Well, not many people actually managed to come back for a second try. She frowns, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. A little more reverb? Okay, a little bit more. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she's talking about. That seems so much louder when I do the reverb. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yeah. So come on. Are we locked in? I hope we're not locked in. I hope we're not locked into Emmy's route. Oh, God. Like, I don't hate her, but this is not what I wanted. I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. The other reverb was better. I'm having a mental breakdown about reverb. I just minimized the game. We're right back where we started, but oh well. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know that I should be patient, work towards things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more?
Okay, I don't want to end up on Emmy's route, and I feel like if we push things, we might end up on her route. So I'm gonna say, let's just take it easy. I think we're not gonna impress her, which is good because we don't wanna end up on her route. Like, I think she's fine, right? But I'm not looking for her route. What route are you going for? I would ideally like to end up on Lily's route. But I don't know. I don't know. Just take it easy.
I let Emmy go with her pace, and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as if I'm really putting up any sort of a real fight out here, is it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to go pushing my limits at this stage of the game. God, is this even worth it? As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emmy keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. I don't have anything to prove to her, come to think of it. I've got nothing to prove to myself, either. I'm fine. I'm just fine the way I am. And what I'm not is a runner. This was probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up this early sucks anyway. There's got to be some other way to keep healthy. Walking, maybe? Nice afternoon walks? Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me.
We made her sad. Wow.
I wave to Emmy and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. Back in my room, the first thing I see is the familiar row of medication bottles lined up on top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made peace with this thing, gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here reminds me of the reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before, for months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it is a life in progress. That's how I'll rationalize it. I down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to class early as usual. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me, soundlessly like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him. Hey! He jumps at the sound of my voice.
Oh, hey man, I didn't notice you there. I'm really tired.
I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping?
Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want.
So then, what's in the bag?
I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need some supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy.
Okay. I thought you didn't go outside.
I wear a hat now.
Okay, good for you, Kenji. Good for you. Good for you. I'm proud of you. I decide to not point out that he is not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room and then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. So awkward.
I never study. Oh. I just wanted to know when the next test day was. I'm still going to take it. Duh. I just need to know so that I know that what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it.
And why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone?
I don't carry a phone.
What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home?
No, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones! I have no phone!
Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone?
I don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think there's some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it.
Beaten in the head.
Well, where else could I get beaten with a phone that would make me unable to remember it? The ass?
Unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now. Seeing this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one.
Class is going to start in like 20 minutes.
I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. Hi, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought 2 because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Whatever, man.
Okay. He's a strange, strange fella. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my classmates by their faces now, though the names escape me still. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I've even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. The awkward pauses. But what I meant was more the remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Sorry, I was scooting my chair forward. This is right. Isao, I'm going to make. Wait, this is no legs, right? I'm going to make you a one-time only super extra special lunch offer. Emmy's old-made lunchboxes and the privilege of enjoying them in private with 2 bombshell beauties. Her overly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallways. A remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness. puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited? You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company. That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable. So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food alone otherwise. Thank you, dumb cheese. Thank you. I'm kidding. Sure, I'll have your lunch offer. With pleasure. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Oh, the roof. Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. And if we don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off. And then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs lunch for herself. Who will? Come with me. Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Emmy smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it. Huh. She's gonna chuck us off the roof. No! The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Who's that Pokemon? Chat? The Pokemon? No foot eating with no hands. I'm covering the text again. Jigglypuff from above! That's right! Eek. Hello. I said that in the most flat way possible. Yipes, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she? Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Heath out for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh? Does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. This is so awkward. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the roof look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere, a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch the bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illnesses and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces one big and two small lunchboxes from her bag.
Come on, 𝐒𝐴𝐜! What are you waiting for?
She is beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin, and hands another lunchbox to me.
There you go. Lunch is promised.
Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good.
Thanks. I make them myself when I can.
Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full and swallows before nodding. I can read, chat, I swear I can read. Think of what Rin can do with those feet. You're sick. Why is the MC such a complainer? I will say, I mean he's a high school boy, so I guess it makes sense. Right? He's still a teenager. But and I guess it hasn't been that long. It's only been a few weeks. But he repeats himself a lot about his situation and the people around him. It's a little bit redundant at times. He can be extra mopey in some routes. Yeah, he's like that. It hasn't even been a week yet at the school. Has it not been a full week yet at the school? I thought he said just earlier it's been a few weeks. Teenage angst? Yeah, I think it's teenage angst. But, self-absorbed. A little bit self-absorbed. But I'm sure I'm sure it's just due to, like, it feels like it's been a long time as the reader, but it hasn't been that long for him. Background noise and cute. He's a romance game protagonist. True. Does EMC have AIDS? He has oh god, I forgot the name. He has arrhythmia. He has arrhythmia. A few weeks since having a heart attack. I thought he was in the hospital for a few months. It's been like 3 days at the school? Really? Your boy, thank you. Does Fishman still care about your... what? Difficult question. Difficult question.
My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure.
What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choke on my lunch, trying not to laugh.
It's a figure of speech.
Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Oh.
Talk like what?
Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question.
Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Somebody in the housing department said, haha, no hands, haha, no legs, let's put them together. Compliment each other?
Black shoes and a suit.
Huh?
Emmy giggles at my confusion.
Put us together and we've got all our limbs, get it?
Ah.
So I started helping Ren get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along.
I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts.
Right, that seems fairly obvious.
Really?
Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny.
That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused.
I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be,
difficult?
You know what? I'm just going to stop talking now. It'll save me a whole lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner.
I see.
This is so awkward, this is so awkward, this is so awkward. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. Imagine it being a button-up! Yeah! Ah! It probably is a button-up shirt. We just can't tell.
It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise.
What? That was good.
As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry.
With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure.
So, Hisao, how do you like it up here?
It's quite nice, actually. I like high places. For the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose.
No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here.
No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended.
Trying to take advantage of my good nature. A nerve.
She giggles.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone.
I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding! I was kidding! I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs.
Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again.
I wasn't that hungry.
If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away.
Rin shrugs, as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we'd better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room.
Oh god. I don't remember how I did her voice.
As I drop the books I'd borrowed into the return slot in the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Ah, sorry Yuko, didn't mean to startle you.
No, that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Oh, can I help you?
It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako had been last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, checking out my books and pop them into my bags as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that's accumulated over the week.
Oh, this is so pretty! This is so pretty! Like the sunset and Lily, it's like a beautiful autumn portrait. It's beautiful.
After passing through and rounding the corner though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and the tapping of her cane are unmistakable. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lily.
Yeah, it was Pokemon trainer angle.
She takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head to face a bit more towards the source of my voice as she does. Hisao. Yep, that's me. She seems to have a good memory for voices. The fact that she actually remembered is a pleasant surprise. Good evening. What brings you here? Once again, she gives a small polite bow, and once again, I reply in kind before realizing that I needn't do so. Just going to town. You? My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, eh? Awkward pause. I usually go shopping on Fridays. She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost.
Save, this is Roger. No backseating!
That said, Hanako usually comes into town with me. Ah, not lost but worried. The two do seem to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you. She has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right. She doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit. Although she probably didn't intend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 tack. With the road bereft of cars and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rustling of the leaves and the measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I know it, I relax so much that a loud yawn escapes me before I can control it. Tired? Yeah, I've been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement, to be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right in the middle of things. For a moment I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, I decide to give my full thoughts. I guess. Yamaku's kind of different though. I mean, the formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'll get used to it in time though. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding, along with Class 3-2 and Hanako. Well, not that I mind. It's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case.
Wait, take a sip.
Looking on the bright side, one could see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic nonetheless. It's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speaks up about something else. So, where in town were you going? That's actually a pretty good question. I'd come in to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I'd intended to just wander around and see what I could find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm going to have to ask her for directions again. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well now, this is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself. Looks like I'll be in your care again then. Thanks. Together we walk to the store, my paces carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason.
7-Eleven! Sorry, Aura Mart.
After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town really is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter.
The true disability are the friends you made along the way.
Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here... It takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she'd had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grabbed 2 well-used red baskets from the small stack beside the entrance, handing one to Lily. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane and sliding it through the basket's handles before picking it back up with her right hand. Wait, if she doesn't use her cane... Before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender fingers. Is this all right? Sure.
She touched me.
I have no reason not to accept. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it is out of necessity. We navigate our way through the store, and with not one of the occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for the local residents. Yeah, we're basically married now. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily and find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for, and we put our items into their respective baskets. I guess this is the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Right, all that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily? We're basically husband and wife.
No, that should be everything.
Off we go then. With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to the registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. What do you mean, thankfully? It's not long before we've both paid for our food and we are out the door. As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upwards at the night sky while holding both of our bags. Yeah, might as well pick out an engagement ring while we're here. For a moment, I try to make clouds with my breath, but the summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually, she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my tune. You tired as well?
The festival preparations have been complete chaos. Shizune breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either.
Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right?
I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain.
I guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk out into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? Is this gonna be Kenji? I notice a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class, but as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Oh! Oh. Rin? What are you doing out here so late? Oh.
Rin?
Lily perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. It's Rin. 𝐒𝐻𝐿, I think was her last name, from our school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated-looking expression, something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and a painful cringe.
Ah, I understand.
I guess Lily knows Rin, too. Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue of a zombie. But slowly, some symptoms of understanding seem to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoroughly.
Hello.
There's an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late?
I was wondering about that myself too just now.
What is she doing? Is she on something? She might be on something.
Some people asked that just before. I assumed they were wondering the same. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked. That's why I'm wondering. So that was pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. They were going that way.
She turns, facing to her right in order to demonstrate the direction the other people went, as if that was important, then rotates back like a mechanical puppet in one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lily, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Our stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm hint of expression on her blank face. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed.
as if bull elephant grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of the sort, though. No, I don't think it's that. The other passerby were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost, the way you're standing in the middle of the street. Ah, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I ponder for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decide on the latter. It seems that most of the time it's better to not read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn, it's just like Kenji said. Even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? I pushed the thought aside as too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here? She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question, its consequences, or the answer she's about to give. I do have some idea. I can't really tell what kind of an idea. So awkward. That sounds like progress, at least. Lily sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism. Yeah, there's some. Definitely. The rest will come later. Nah, I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. The ensuing silence kills Lily's hopes all too visibly. That didn't last long. Rin's, as far as I can tell, unbased assurances aside, what should be done? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are. But it's late, and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, the chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery. Several times in a row. Lily's oddly quiet, too. I'd appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So, I assume you were going somewhere, not coming back to the school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock and she jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this. Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. What? No, wait. Why would you think that? What is that face? What is that face? What is that? The crazy eye. You knew exactly. You knew what I was doing. It was an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before to get to the store. If you were going to school, we would have met you on the way. Wow. She looks a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin appears quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here. I make a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know, that is the second time this week that somebody asked if I was a mind reader. Do I really give off that impression? Rin shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get.
You know!
Maybe you should come back with us. Oh. Maybe you should come with us back to the school? Lily interjects just as I'm about to further debunk my alleged mind-reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, the paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising that fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decided to let the mind-reading topic drop, as it's entirely inane anyways.
Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point in staying here.
Ren considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. Ashkadiani, thank you. Told you, best girl. We start towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. Rin walks along the edge of the sidewalk in her rhythmic way, looking like a mix of sleepwalker and rope dancer, while Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder, tapping at the ground with her cane. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Apart from that and a few fragmented beginnings of conversation, it's quiet. A quiet quite apart from the relaxing one in the town at that.
So, how's the mural going?
We're going to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap, step, tap, step. She doesn't care to talk to Lily. Fuck! She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place. For the first time. Step, step, step. The hill Yamaku rests on top of is surprisingly steep going uphill. We slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising and breathing, getting heavier. Almost there. I can see the gates already. More than that though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder. Interpreting it as a gesture that she wants to ask something, I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I resist the urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything all right? All right? How do you mean? The fact I can't interpret her incredibly vague question puts her off for a second. It's just... you seem unusually tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has really done a job on me.
What? What? Time to save.
Sorry, I'm not in very good condition, or I don't really want to talk about it. Well, I'm going to catch up with some super chats real quick.
But I feel like our best option is to be open with her. That seems like the very obvious choice to take. But then again, visual novels also tend to have that bullshit of like, oh, well, yeah, you were honest with her and you opened up to her, but you did so in front of another woman. How dare you? If you really think about the character's psychology, she would have preferred if you had waited. And if you had been smart, you would have known that if you select like the don't want to talk about it route, then you can open up to her later, and then she'll tell you about the day her dog got hit by a car, which was the same day that she got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and her dad got human trafficked.
Visual novel games are weird like that sometimes. They are so annoying. I fucking hate visual novels so much sometimes. LSD, thank you. I can tell you if you want. No spoilers. But that is literally how visual novels will go sometimes. Is you'll be like, oh, the obvious answer, can't do that because then it locks me out of the more intimate route where we have like the real heart-to-heart later. Or you choose to open up now and then the character like doesn't find you as like mysterious or whatever because they already know. So you're locked out of the route where they keep like pestering you and they spend more time with you and blah 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 blah. Fucking hate that shit so much. I hate that shit so much. That's why you save scum. That is why you save scum. LSD, thank you. Will do. I'll keep quiet. Thank you. It's so... Remember, this wasn't made by Japanese people? That only happened in old VNs?
Yeah, being a shithead makes things more dramatic. I hate so much when like in order to win another girl's heart, you have to be a complete asshole to literally everybody just so you stay locked into their route. That is my least favorite part of visual novels, and I feel like it's like an accidental thing that has to do with like the developers not balancing the stat distribution or something. But so many visual novels, you have to choose the most negative, aggressive answers possible and just be a complete dickbag to everybody. Or else you're not gonna have high enough affection score with this one girl. Because you got, what's that? Your hidden fucking stat points was 16 with this other girl. Well, that locks you into her route because her route happens earlier than the other girl's route. It's so fucking annoying. Okay, I'm gonna read the super chats. Lupus Albus, thank you. Don't be a scummer like Sava. Rad Crab, thank you. Why can't we have a sad disabled girl's harem? Why must I be forced to pick? MalLSD, thank you. Will do. Keep quiet. MalLSD, thank you. I can tell you if you want. I'm not even Rusta. Thank you for $50 dues. Hi, Pippa. Today's my birthday. Can I get a happy birthday? Happy birthday, Ahmad. Happy birthday, Ahmad. Happy birthday, Ahmad. Happy birthday to you. The BPD&D is going great. By now I've run games for 16 players with more on the way. I have stories I could tell sometime. Anyway, Emmy Best Girl, thanks for stream. Thank you. I'm glad your D&D games are going well. Askadioni, thank you. Told you. Best Girl. 𝐒𝐻𝐿𝐢, thank you. Now my man writing off autism as quirky behavior. Background noise, thank you. Take them both home like a real Chad. Hidden, thank you. No arms. Fucking cringe. Lily. Yeah, Lily is being kind of weird about Rin. I'm gonna be a hypocrite and I'm gonna say Lily... Like, I was really harsh on 𝐶𝑯𝑨𝒀𝑚, but I'm gonna give Lily the benefit of the doubt here. And I'm gonna say Lily doesn't know how to handle how straightforward Rin is. And maybe she feels more... Like, she feels like she has to be more guarded about her language. Because she doesn't understand Rin. You know? Handle. Zero, thank you. That's weird. Forced fusion of a composed smile and a painful cringe is my expression. Dark post Pippa streams. What the fuck? Possibly say thank you. Some people give swords as a betrothal gift. Would you give Lily a sword cane as a proposal? Hell yeah. Masked Tender, thank you. May as well pick up an engagement ring while you're here. True. Phantom Lord, thank you. Gordo Gamer, thank you. Just never say Lily's class is blindly following her lead. Don't say it. Sarah, thank you. The true disability are the friends you made along the way. Dear boy, thank you. Wish I could follow you on Twitter, but I'd be excommunicated by my side in an instant. Your stuff is refreshingly spicy. Thank you. Thank you. Dear boy, thank you. Gosh, when is a good time to send super chats? I feel like you're really into this right now and I don't want to distract or destroy your vibe. I usually stop to read them during the choice selections. Just to keep you guys on a cliffhanger. This'll start building you. The girl on the right looks like me if I wasn't fat and missing limbs. Oh. Just take off your legs. Get it? Because you'll lose weight. And then you can be like Emmy. I'm sorry. Background noise, thank you. He's a romance game protagonist. 𝐒𝐻𝐿𝐢, thank you. That roof is covered in rocks. Terrible place to eat lunch. MalLSD, thank you. Lily is used to people like Hanako. Rin is a polar opposite. Some cheese, thank you. This is my first super chat. Well, thank you, Some cheese. Love the content. Can't stay because I work early in the morning. For some reason, listening to this weird pink rabbit makes me happy. I'm obviously going insane. Well, thank you. Very best kid, thank you. Dead at 40 route, locked in. Let's go. Tyler Kennedy, thank you. You showed me Snoot Game and now this. Thanks, Rabbit. Pickle Cucumber, thank you. Pepper with glasses of good culture. No step on snake, thank you. I should be getting sleep before going to some military training, but I'd rather watch you instead. Thank you. I hope you get some rest. Doug, thank you. I'm normally not able to make it to live streams, but this game is near and dear to me, so I've made sure to tune in each time. Hell yeah. I hope I can do it justice. The Fox, thank you. Hey, Pippa, the good luck kiss you gave me the... Alright, I read that one. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Space Guy Ride, thank you. Thanks, Pippa. I now realize that every a-hole I meet are just locked in on their route. Just these now, thank you. Got some B-Day merch. Had to find my bank for it. Oh, Hibiki Jun, thank you. That's dead. That's why it took forever to finish. After Emmy's route, Pippa being ultra-based. Thank you. Also, mandatory reminder to check out the merch. Go to shop.𝐶𝑯𝑨𝒀𝑚.com. Yay! Okay. Back to the game. I'm gonna just be honest with her. Hopefully we don't get fucked over by not being a dickbag.
Sorry, I'm not in a very good condition. It's alright, I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh. Is it something that is related to you being transferred here? I mean? She cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp though, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't think I mind.
Ooh, that's a good sign, that's a good sign.
I'm just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said you look fairly healthy, so I naturally thought. Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising she's this flustered, considering her straightforward attitude. With her own blindness, she must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. No, it's okay. I have a pretty... I guess the best way to put it would be messed up... heart? Arrhythmia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it, and spent most of the spring in the hospital. Ended in Yamaku on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily furrow her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we don't really know each other that well. I can't really fault her for it, given I have the same exact reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time her face shows that she's come to a sort of realization. Wait. So the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway... I grimace slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I'd intended. Lily visibly shies away from continuing the topic. While I do want to assuage her concerns, I don't really want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it.
The face on Rin just makes me think, bro, you done yet? Yeah, she is not impressed by this.
I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all the walk back that I had all but forgotten she was there. It's Friday, isn't it?
For fucking face!
Yes. Friday, the 8th of June.
This is bad.
Bad? Why?
I think I'm gonna go in a fetal position and throw up. Possibly in reverse order.
Is something wrong?
Nah, nothing's wrong. It's Friday and nothing's wrong yet. This mural is going to be needed to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Do you have any drugs or a time machine?
This is not good. Not good.
So, she's behind her schedule. Recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago, I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for a told you so unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking as mortified as she can.
Leave me. I'm gonna need to work for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes. But then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing.
Leave me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is.
There's a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone? She sounded like she was going into shock or something. I'm sure she will be just fine. She's just how to say... Lily cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique! Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion melodiously, nodding in agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile, as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings have prevented her from becoming closer to Rin. I'm not one to blame her, at all. Lily lets slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. I imagine she's as exhausted by all this as I am.
Desu, thank you. You still do the eye thing. Yeah, I've done that in a few streams so far.
This game's long pauses. I don't know if I meant to click through them or not. I'd better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Hisao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. I can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Relax, I'd say. That's probably just relief over getting rid of Rin. Maybe? Yeah. Good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. It's so awkward. It's so awkward. Ah! I will. Good night. And she looks at me, and I look at her, and she looks at me, and I look at her. Threatening aura. Very threatening aura. We made progress, indeed. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Muto lurches into class in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the 2 empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure. What's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. And the text pauses, move the mouse! And Desu said it's a Windows 11 thing. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Muto stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he is trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. So, tell me, how are things? Things? I expected Muto to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You've had a week to settle in now, so how are things? It really has only been a week, what the hell? It feels like it's been so much longer than a week. Am I crazy? Am I crazy, or does it feel like it's been multiple weeks in game? Fine, I guess.
I see. And how is your condition?
The pause before condition seemed a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. Because it's been multiple weeks IRL. Oh, that makes sense. A brief shimmer of relief passes across Muto's face.
Good. That's good. The school nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't.
That makes sense.
I ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you would get in a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential within them. You follow me?
I guess. I mean, I don't plan on doing anything stupid.
Well, that's a start, I guess. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. You're not too far ahead, are we?
I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Muto taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information.
Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning.
I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you gotta keep up with these things, right?
That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right?
Right. Wouldn't want that to happen.
No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing.
I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Muto's serious talk is over and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think, in hindsight, that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability.
Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we?
My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right?
Muto pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before.
For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they were working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Muto doesn't even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got him there. The class returns to the near silence that Muto and I left in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest, or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away, until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment.
Before all you leave, I expect the answer for those problems by Monday.
The class sighs as one. Instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand.
Big stretch, yeah, big stretch.
I'm surprised you guys could tell. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend. With the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako.
Oh man, I used to be so shy and awkward in school. That I would not get up for pretty much anything because I felt like so self-conscious and just like paranoid about everything. I remember in math class, they tell us to get up and go get a calculator, but I didn't want to get up and like, I guess be part of the crowd and stuff. So I would just stay at my desk and I didn't have my own calculator. So I would just sit there and do all of the math problems and stuff by hand instead of using a calculator. And I remember one time, I fucked up the equation so bad. I fucked it up so bad that the teacher called me over and she was like, "Can you show me how you did this on the calculator to get these answers?" And I was like, "I didn't use a calculator." And she was like, "What do you mean you didn't use a calculator?" And I was like, "I didn't use the calculator." I didn't have anything to say! I didn't have anything to say, chat! If I had like a higher fucking charisma score or whatever, chat, I could have been like, yeah, I wanted to, you know, try and do it by hand myself to really like test my understanding of it, you know? But I was just so stupid! I was just so stupid! I had no idea, like, what to respond with. It was so... she rolled a 1. I rolled a 1. I rolled a lot of 1s. They don't let us use calculators. Some of the stuff, they let us use calculators. Some of it we had to do by hand. But I would just do everything by hand because I didn't want to get up and get a calculator. I would only use calculators when they pass them out, right? Like, sometimes the calculators would already, like, be on the desks and stuff. And so I would use them then. But if I had to get up to use them, I would not do it. I would not do it. I would also be the last one to turn in all of my papers. Because I would sit there and I'd flip my paper over and I would just draw on it. And then I'd turn it in at the end of class. Unless, like, we absolutely had to turn it in. But then usually the teacher would be like, "Okay, if anyone hasn't turned their paper in, now's the time." And then I would get up and do it then. Because then it's like, you have to, right? But, God. I was so awkward. I was so unbelievably awkward.
No step on saying thank you. Gotta sleep. Have a good night, Pippa. Good night, Monsieur. Thank you. The teacher needed to jiggle the mouse to skip the dialogue pause. Makes sense. You were so... Ow, you made it slower. Would you use my calculator to play games? Oh, my calculators didn't have games. I always found out being last just as awkward as being first for that. Yeah, but it's easier to procrastinate, right? Like, if it's gonna be awkward no matter what, like, kid brain says, okay, well, I'll just wait until, like, I have to do it. Now, as I get older, I've gotten better and I continue to get a bit more disciplined and better with, if I have something to do, it's better to just get it out of the way as soon as possible so I don't have to worry about it. It's a good mindset, chat. If you do it now, you don't have to worry about it now. You know? You don't have to worry about it later. You just do it. You just do it, and you're free. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that, or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. The sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. Oh, cute. Cute, cute, cute. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom inevitably becomes too much for her, though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the only one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. But why would Lily leave her to her own devices? It seems to be quite out of the ordinary going by Hanako's reaction. Ah, that's right. I think Lily mentioned something about going into town today before Rin bumped into us. The thought of that walk makes me look outside. Moving clouds. The bright sun and occasional people wandering around and enjoying the afternoon makes me yearn to get out of school. Or at least do something other than sit here. Giving in to one of my worst vices, procrastination, I decide that history is the subject best studied on a Sunday. Or a Monday. Or any day other than this one.
I don't think he's like wrong there, right? Like he can study while he's bored in his room. Right? Study at night.
I give a grunt as I lever myself out of my seat, briefly debating with myself whether or not to hang out with Kenji. He doesn't strike me as the enjoying the nice weather outside with others kind of person, really. I guess I'll catch up with him later. Changing tacks, I briefly entertain the idea of talking with Hanako, but by the time I look at her seat, it's already vacant. She must have left for the library. There's gotta be something to do that can kill the time.
What? What? Okay, so Lily's going to town, right? Was Lily going to town? And Bacon's going to the library.
No step on snack, thank you. Alright, read that. Malcolm Lane, thank you. In Taiwan, if they catch you with a calculator, they break it or confiscate it.
What the fuck?
Background noise, thank you. You're in trouble for being a player. 𝐂𝐚𝐭, thank you. When the text pauses, move the mouse. For some reason, it causes the text to start. I think that worked. That's the thing, you. Can you still do the eye thing that Rin is doing? I can. I've done it for a few other streams. Jesse's nuts, thank you. Oh, I read that one. Okay, okay, I'm caught up. Definitely avoided bad end. I'm gonna say, let's try going to town. Following Hanako to the library seems a bit intrusive. There was a reason she left the classroom after all. And that aside, I do want to catch up with Lily. At the very least, I'd like to thank her for looking out for me despite her other, obviously taxing duties. I guess I'll walk around town. With any luck, I should be able to find Lily. The exercise will do me some good as well.
Y'all got her calling her Bacon. Yeah, that's chat's fault.
Walking through the school courtyard to the gate, I give a small nod to a couple of passing classmates, the gesture being returned in kind. Even from here, the shouts of the sports club members can be heard. From the sheer volume of the din, the track must be packed right now. I remember what Lily said yesterday about being dropped right into the middle of a busy time for the school. While I'm trying to get my bearings and catch up on study that I've missed, everyone else is doing normal school activities. The feeling of being a foreigner still hasn't dissipated. At least, not yet. Well, I guess not everything's bad. This is a private school, and that much is easily noticed when walking around outside. Not only are their school grounds huge, but the buildings themselves are immaculate and quite divorced from the dime a dozen concrete blocks of public schools. There's also the fact that there's a much stronger feeling of community here, or at least a friendlier atmosphere. At my old school, it was generally accepted that people would keep their little clique and be done with it. Eventually, I reach the gate and begin to walk down the road and into town. Well, that was fairly productive. Having seen a fair portion of town, even including the houses perched on the hills around the outskirts, I decide to take a walk around the park before heading back. Living in the city all my life, the total lack of smartly dressed businessmen and fashionably dressed girls strikes me as incredibly unusual. All that's to be seen are the odd elderly person shuffling along the sidewalk and assorted busily chatting pairs of middle-aged women outside of small storefronts. Walking along the road to the park quickly distracts me from them, though, making me realize that I perhaps pushed myself further than I should have done, seeing as much as I could. As my breath begins to wheeze and my chest tightens more and more, I give up on the prospect of soldiering on. Pretty! A park! Pretty. After a quick glance around the park as I enter, I take a seat on a wobbly old bench that I notice near a couple of vending machines. For minutes on end, I sit with my head bent over, forcing myself to take deep breaths. I feel more like an old man than a teenager who should be in the prime of his life. The stay in the hospital, the surgery, and the medications must be taking their toll on me. Damn it. Eventually, my breathing returns to normal and the muscles in my chest loosen, not without a fair measure of relief. I guess this means the end of my little sojourn, though, in any case. There's a cafe on the far corner, so I'll stop by to quench my thirst before heading back. Ding ding! A little bell above the door signals my arrival to an empty counter. For a few moments, I stand there waiting, my eyes every now and again drifting from one end of the counter to the other end, searching for a service bell. Oh! Oh! Ah! Yuko? The first character we get an alt outfit of? Oh no, I guess we got Kenji's alt outfit. That being him nude. Eventually, a door some ways behind the counter opens, the person emerging from it taking me by complete surprise. Yuko? Hi, I had no idea you worked here. I really have no idea how to address her either, given that she is technically school staff as well as, apparently, a waitress.
Yes,
She quickly paces to the counter before flinging her upper half downwards in an overacted bow.
Welcome to the Shanghai. May I take your order?
Straight down to business, I see. I don't know. Well, some coffee, please? Oh yeah, no legs at her gym outfit. True.
Yes, certainly. I'll make it right away and bring it to you when it's done.
Thanks. Yuko's formality takes me aback. She seems to take her job very seriously. Obeying her instructions, I turn around and quickly glance around for a free table. Considering the cafe seems to be empty, this is a simple task to accomplish. As I walk towards a table adjacent to the window, I notice a flash of yellow around one of the table dividers. Oh. What the fuck? Is that Link? Is Lily's brother Link? Sure enough, no more than a glance is needed to ascertain that it's certain. Sato at the table. That said, I don't recognize the suited figure across the table from her. Blonde, fair-skinned, and only a little shorter. I think she must be a relative. Since the two are all but silent as the suited figure takes a swig from the cup of coffee, I decide to greet Lily. Some part of my coming here was in order to meet her, after all. Lily's brother, Twink! Hi, Lily. 𝐒𝐴𝐤. Yeah, nice to see you again. The suited girl looks up, noting my uniform with a relaxed smile. Oh, it is a girl! With red eyes.
You know each other?
Wait, that doesn't sound right. What kind of voice for this character? Maybe more of an accent? For best day, thank you. Need tomboy. Tomboy? How do I do a tomboy voice? British. Normal voice? Nagatoro. Type of voice and tomboy voice. Ah! British. Older sister tomboy gangster. This is so hard. Okay,
Know each other?
I guess. It's as good an approximation of our relationship as I can think of. Care to take a seat? She says this to the air beside me, but the message is clear enough, and I take a seat beside her. I suppose some introductions might be in order. 𝐒𝐴𝐤, this is Akira Sato, my older sister. Akira, this is Hisao Nakai, another Yamako student. Looks like my guess was correct. The newly introduced Akira gives a nod, which I return. What I don't return, however, is the almost analytical gaze with which she looks me over. As she does so, Yuko walks up to the table and carefully places the coffee on the table before bowing and taking her leave. Gently bringing my hand to the side of the cup, I realize that it's already at just the right temperature to drink. After taking a sip, the flavor turns out to be just as good as the temperature. Yuko seems a lot better at this than being a librarian. I take a good, long drink before relaxing into the seat. It takes mere seconds for Akira's examination to come to an end. Apparently, becoming quickly bored with the activity, she turns to her sister.
So, how's school recently?
It seems Akira is entirely unconcerned with someone she doesn't know at all, listening to everything they say. Not that I mind. Leaving them to their chatting, I sit back and continue drinking the pleasantly aromatic coffee.
Sounds like it's pretty busy for you then.
At least it's not cooking your meals after school anymore. As they talk, I slowly realize that I'm entirely unable to gauge Lily's emotions through her eyes, as I would for any other person. It becomes slightly unsettling as I subconsciously focus on that fact.
Whoa, so cold. Weren't you just cooking for yourself anyway? I only ever got leftovers.
That's not the point. Are you managing to feed yourself, at least?
I can cook without blowing myself up, you know. Mostly.
That's...
It's fine, it's fine. I needed to learn sometime anyway. Lily?
Everyone present is momentarily distracted by Yuko, who places a cup of tea on the table for Lily. Taking the moment to glance at her watch, Akira levers herself off of her seat and gives me a quick nod.
Well, I'd better be off. It was nice talking to you, Lily.
Akira, do you have to... Lily looks genuinely mournful at her sister suddenly leaving. It does seem like she might have the wrong idea.
Sorry, I need to get back to work. They'll be on my neck again if I don't make it back quickly.
So informal. Akira's trim and tidy appearance would give anyone the wrong impression of her. Bye, Akira.
Come on, don't look so down. I'll be around again soon. See us.
With that, she waltzes out of the Shanghai with her hand held high. Lily still looks pretty depressed, so I try to make some small talk in an effort to take her mind off of it. She seems nice. We used to live together, but now that I live at school, we hardly see each other. Despite Lily having been quite affable, I still don't quite know much about her. In hindsight, it's surprising just how much she's extracted from me, really. You used to live together? Was it somewhere around here? It was pretty far south, so the trip to Yamaku was fairly long. With her working hours getting longer and Yamaku being so far away, there was little choice in the end but to move into the dormitories. Well, that explains the chatter about cooking. Evidently regaining her composure, she livens back up, at least in part. I take it you're better rested now? Sorry? You sound less exhausted than you did when you first came in. To be able to pick out my breathing like that, she must have pretty good ears. Yeah, ended up walking all over town, despite only planning on taking a short walk down here. Reminded of my thirst from the walk, I lean forward to take a sip. Without further ado, Lily starts on her cup of strong-smelling tea. I guess I'd better get going back to Yamaku. There's only so long I can stall studying for, and I want to get a good night's sleep before the festival. Standing from my seat, I take the coffee-stained cup from the table. You're leaving? Yeah. You going to head back up as well? It's getting kinda late. For a moment she pauses, before lifting her face over her teacup as if she was looking at me. Yuko, could we have one more coffee, please?
Okay, I'll bring it away right away.
That's not subtle. She gives a short giggle at my frank assessment of her maneuver. It's surprisingly childish and carefree, given her otherwise collected appearance. In the end, though, I have little reason to refuse. To be honest, I can hardly say no, all things considered. Giving a manufactured sigh, I take a seat opposite to her. Wanting company, then? I'd say that it's more that I was wondering. I see she's in a questioning mode again. She does seem to be unusually interested in me, or at least curious. Do you have any siblings? Not exactly an unexpected tangent. No, only child. To be honest, the idea of having someone that close makes me a bit envious. Interesting. I raise an eyebrow, which of course goes unseen. The short silence communicates the question well enough. It's just that others have said the same thing before. It's a difficult subject to try and think about objectively, given that I've always had someone like that. I can mostly understand what Lily means, given that it would be hard to place oneself outside of a situation they've been in all their life. She and her sister must have a pretty close relationship. Taking pains to interrupt us as little as possible, Yuko dutifully comes over and places a cup on the table. Lily thanks her as I sit back, taking in this vexing girl in front of me. Despite always seeming to be on her guard and in control of herself and talking to others, she has an almost childlike curiosity about other people. That said, those rare moments she seems to be slightly lower in her guard are the most insightful into how she thinks. Reaching forward for my drink, I realize something I probably should have noticed earlier. I think I'm starting to become kind of curious about her. Despite making a good pace, it's already nightfall by the time I reach the large iron gates in front of the school. While it's nice to have plenty of time to wander around by virtue of living right next to the school, I can't help but get the feeling that very few students actually take the opportunity. Compared to the number of students I see milling around on campus during free time, it's startlingly rare to see anyone around town. Given the large number of accommodations and facilities the school offers, many of them might not simply see any point in venturing outside, let alone people such as Hanako and Kenji. It makes me wonder if students like Shizune, Misha, and Lily are the exception for this school, rather than the norm. As I wander back into my dorm, I continue to compare my old school with Yamaku. As I do so, I begin to be surprised that I managed to get even this used to everything that's happening to me. Happened.
Are we on Act 2 yet? Will it tell us when we're on Act 2?
Space Guy Ride, thank you. Hiso enters the room wheezing and huffing due to being bedridden.
How huff does she wheeze? No, it's the wheeze.
I'm gonna take this as a... It will tell you? Okay, wow, we're still in Act 1? We're still only in Act 1. Holy shit. Mr. thank you. The teacher needed to jiggle the mouse to skip the dialogue pause. Oh, wait. Did this not refresh? Ninclax, thank you. She must see something in you. Background noise, thank you. Bring your A game pip up. Raveshe. Need tomboy. Rifle Tower, thank you for 5 game base. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Plastic King, thank you.
In my playthrough, I call Hanako Harvey Dent.
Direct, thank you. This should be good. A lot has happened since my first completion, so my favorites may have changed. Well, best to find out vicariously than going through all of it again. Not one of us, thank you. Pippa, don't be disrespectful. Hanako's name is Scarface. Oh my god. Background noise, thank you. Pippa got blinded by Lily's beauty. Aha. Shut up. Shut up. Act 1 is intro. The juicy parts might be around here. All the arcs after the first are short. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There'll be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans, since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with a "No Girls Allowed" sign, and with the girls crossed out and Buddy crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Oh god, I need to start on my bottle of water before I start voicing Kenji. Yes, Kenji? You don't like Kenji? You don't like Kenji? You don't like your boy Kenji?
Who is it?
You're supposed to ask that before you open the door.
Oh, it's you! Damn, it's early.
It's not really that early.
What is it that? Oh, what is it, man?
Nothing. I was just gonna ask what you're gonna do today. Half of the school is out there already. Ah!
Out where? Why?
What?
What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them! It's loud! Don't tell me! Has the invasion begun?
He suddenly looks more alarmed.
What day is it, man?
Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff.
What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to thwart the snipers!
It's the festival. You know that, right?
Now I got... Oh shit, that's today! Aw, damn it! I can't believe I forgot! I don't have my fort finished yet, this is bad! This is going to be a very bad day! It's good you told me this, man! This is going to be a bad day!
Why?
Oh man, they're going to be everywhere! The people outside my window socializing!
Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill.
It's going to be loud as hell! Damn, I was going to go out for today, but it's ruined! Everything is ruined! Today, this is awful! This sucks! This sucks! What the hell? This really sucks! I can't go anywhere now! There's nowhere to run!
Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaked out.
I can't believe this! So that's what today was! Damn! And I couldn't even prepare for it! I couldn't even brace myself, and now it's here and I can't do anything! You should have told me this earlier, dude! I mean, at least I don't know! I could have earlier imagined I could have accomplished!
Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today? The weather is even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not, though, so there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands.
Oh, no! I can't do it! Don't leave me alive out there! I know it!
That has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face. Relatively straight.
What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together.
I don't know. I'm pretty hungry, so I thought I'd get some food first and then check out the attractions. Your class project seemed pretty cool, and I gave Lily a hand with it, so I want to see at least that one and chat with Lily, I guess. Speaking of that, don't you have any obligations for the project?
Are you out of your mind? That blind broad is up to no good. I can feel it in my spleen, man. Her presence is like a dark shadow that's in the way of my great vision. As expected of blind people.
What? Besides, I thought you were also... He holds up his hand to interrupt me.
Only legally. Metaphorically, I can see farther than any man before me has seen.
Kenji looks stoically into the metaphorical distance to emphasize his statement, thrusting his chin forward to look manlier. Actually, it's just the corridor wall 2 meters away, but it's all the same.
I can see the future of mankind, and it's a dark one unless the threat of woman is stifled. They are everywhere.
He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course.
I'm going to have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival.
Okay.
Well,
later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. This is autistic Harry Potter. Ableist schizo Harry Potter! After buying a plastic plate of takoyaki from a stall belonging to the class next to ours, I take a seat in the school gardens and watch people pass as I tentatively nibble away at the rather bland-tasting item. I guess I shouldn't complain. It's better than nothing, and it didn't cost much. As I look out towards the school, watching the people coming and going proves a surprisingly entertaining way of passing the time as I eat. Little children accompanied by parents or grandparents scamper about in the din from event to event, one hand dragging their company and the other bearing an oversized, colorful snack. I can't help but notice the age range among the people here is skewed towards the elderly, something that I'd also noticed when I was walking around town. This must be one of those towns where the only people left are those that lived here their whole lives and ardently refused to leave, and those wanting to live out the rest of their days in one of the increasingly few tranquil places. I guess that also goes away to explaining how conservative Yamaku's school culture seems to be. Not that I mind one bit. I kind of like how calm Yamaku and its surroundings are. The heat, though, is another matter entirely. Sitting in one place for so long has focused my mind on how annoyingly humid it's getting, now that the hottest part of the day is here. Better get moving if... The sound of the carrion bells takes me completely by surprise as I stand up. A reaction shared by a few of the people strolling around as well. The PA system crackles to life after after the tolling bells end. Its age shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it, officially opening the festival that's very much in full swing. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smiles of the older folk against the alternatively pained and bored grimaces of their younger charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to pay it little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in polite, if not overly enthusiastic applause, and then get back to business. Slipping a hand into my pocket to look as relaxed as possible, I casually glance around for something to do. It's somewhat difficult to see very far away. Wait, fuck? It's somewhat... Fuck, let me take a sip. Conservative is this Japanese terms are Western? It's a Western term for, like... If something is conservative, it can also mean, other than political, it can also mean, like, it's very, like, modest. It's very reserved. It's, kept to itself. It's somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. I decide to fall back on a tried and trusted rule. Go where everyone else seems to be gathering. Right now, that's the school courtyard and its surroundings. Throwing the used plate into a trash can, I make my way towards the school building. Seeing the number of stalls around the perimeter of the school building surprises me. Quite a few of the classes must have opted to have multiple stalls. Yeah, traditional, simple. In deciding which to visit first, I catch sight of a familiar banner with a blue patterned border and red text. Lily's stall is as good a place to start as any. I'm curious as to how it's going. After all of the work she put in her class... I'm losing my ability to read. After all of the work she and her class have been doing for it. Stepping up to it, I begin to see why the class took so long to organize everything. Easily twice as wide as the other stalls, and with equipment for cooking strewn everywhere. It's closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As a student in the front of me takes a bowl of noodles and leaves, I walk up to the counter. The girl behind it seems quite exasperated. And asks me to wait a moment before she disappears underneath the counter. Seizing the moment, I take a quick glance around. Steam seems to be rising from everywhere, as pots and pans simmer away. The most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being helped by someone who is probably the teacher of 3-2. It doesn't take long to notice Lily among them, talking with the teacher as she quickly counts out the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression and the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion, it appears that there's been some problem in coordination. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops up again, only to look back and ask where the spare change box is. Lily pauses for a moment before she and the girl switch places at the counter and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere.
Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like?
It takes me a second to remember what I'd come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side to read the menu sitting on the counter. Oh, I guess, miso soup.
Ah, is that 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭?
Yep, looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade.
Somewhere along the lines, our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it looks like we only have half of what we needed.
Wouldn't serving smaller portions cover over the problem?
It seems like that's what we'll have to do, though I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone doesn't help either.
I glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall. It couldn't be over 8. I take it that's why your teacher left.
That's right. She's going to try and round up a few more of our classmates to help.
Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking a place in the line. I guess I'd better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's the money for the soup.
Soup? Oh, right. Coming right up.
Lily turns and calls for a bowl of miso soup as I hand over the money for it. Taking the coins in her palm, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out with her long, pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I've handed over correct change, she puts it into a small metal tray. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, after which she turns and subsequently passes it to me. Thanks! I'll come back to drop off the bowl.
Thank you, 𝐒𝐡𝐚. Oh, there is one other thing. Have you seen Hanako?
Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment.
It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done, then?
Sure, I'll keep an eye out for Hanako, too.
Thank you, 𝐒𝐡𝐚.
I walk off from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. Man! You should have offered to help! Missed opportunity! There's such a missed opportunity! We could have impressed her by volunteering to help! Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what it probably should be, perhaps, but the flavor is enough to cover for that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as others. It can't really be helped considering I was dropped into the school only a week ago, but it still weighs heavily on my mind. That and the fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the others. Eventually, I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. It seems the teacher's mission paid off. There are now over a dozen students helping, and much of the unpacking has been done. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily still appears to be somewhat stressed. Right, I know what I'll do. Even if it's just one person, I'll make the festival more enjoyable for her. As I place the bowl on the counter, I call out to Lily.
Ah, 𝐒𝐡𝐚. You brought it back?
Yeah, here. I slide it into her hands, and she takes it over to someone who is apparently on cleaning duty. Considering that I didn't see them here before, it's probably a penalty for their tardiness. Hey, Lily? She perks up and returns to the counter as she hears my voice again, realizing that I'm still here. Wanna go see some more of the festival? Ah! We asked her out, bros! We asked her out! Also, yeah, see? You wanna go see some more of the festival? Blind, blindy, blind, can't see, haha, can't see, blind, haha. Also, cute pouty expression. She puffs her cheeks disapprovingly. It looks kinda cute and in complete contradiction to her usually reserved nature. It takes a few seconds for me to get what she's taking issue with. Oops. I didn't mean to... Lily giggles at me, exposing her teasing for what it is.
You're still not used to the school, are you?
She got me.
Still, I kind of need to stay with our stall. It's taken until just now to even get everything unpacked.
I guess her reluctance shouldn't overly surprise me, considering how much work she's put into this. Everything seems to be running fine now, though. Besides, you got extra help on the hand anyway. Extra help on hand. Fuck. A boy in the middle of cooking some soba noodles turns towards us, grinning. Come on, Lils. You burned yourself a break. We can hold down the fort for now.
If you say it's okay, then I suppose so. But if you need any help...
Then we'll call you. Go on, we'll be fine. Lily finally gives up her resistance as he waves a spatula at her. She feels her way around the back of the stall and picks up her cane on the way. I guess the first thing we should do is look for Hanako. Lily seems kind of worried about her, and I doubt she'd be the kind of person to enjoy milling about in crowds like this all alone. So, I guess we should search for Hanako? Where to first? The both of us go quiet for a moment to think. Maybe she's in her dorm room?
Well, I doubt it. She doesn't keep too many things in there, so she'd have nothing to do. Ah, the library.
As good a place as any to search for an avid reader, I suppose. The library it is. We'll check there first then. Aside from the muffled sounds of the crowd seeping in from outside, the inside of the school seems almost deserted. In order to make sure everyone had enough room, I guess all the events were organized to be held outside on school grounds. They're definitely quite large by any other school standards.
It's nice and quiet in here, isn't it?
Yeah, much nicer than the hustle and bustle outside. We take our time and slowly walk through the first floor of the school, eventually reaching the stairs to the second floor. I can't help but notice how Lily anticipates every door and obstacle, her cane remaining still and her hands skating along the hallway railings. You really know the school well, don't you? She smiles and nods straight ahead.
I've been here for a few years now, so I know where everything is. The dorms still trip me up though, sometimes. I haven't been there as long and they're not as well laid out as the main building. If I'm remembering right, they used to be unused buildings before being renovated and used as dormitories.
That explains why the male and female dorms look different from the outside, and why their rooms seem kind of unusual for sleeping quarters. I'd assumed she'd been living in the dormitory since she began attending the school, but now I'm reminded of what she said yesterday. That's right, you mentioned that before. I'd assumed that most of the students here lived in the dormitories once they enrolled. A lot of them seem to, in any case. Lily's expression becomes somewhat harder to read, my questioning evidently touching on a delicate point.
Well, now should I say... Everyone has their reasons.
Something tells me that one of those reasons is Hanako, hence her tiptoeing around the answer. My own predicament is yet another such case. I guess it's a choice everyone here would have to make for themselves. Or, in my instance, have made for them. It can't be helped, I suppose. At least Yamaku itself seems like a nice place.
It's good to hear you say that. I thought you were coming to dislike it.
What about you, though? My reversal of Lily's statement takes her by surprise.
I've been here for a while, so...
It's not that. You seemed... Oh, it's not just that. You just seem pretty depressed about Akira. What's with that look?
Akira's taken. Sorry, Hisao.
Lily never sees how fast my palm meets my face at her sly accusation. Hey, I was worried about you! That's no way to respond to concern. While she gives an amused grin, we round the corner of the hallway and enter the library. As we do so, it isn't hard to spot Hanako, considering that the room is completely devoid of anyone else. What? Wait, real? Seiko! Thank you. Hey, Lily Writer / Hanako co-writer here. Thanks for playing the game. Been cool to see you through new eyes. Good luck with the route. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, real? 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 Do you have social media? Can I bug you? Can I bug you with some questions and stuff? Oh. She's headed for yeah, we're trying to do Lily's route. I don't know if we're successfully on it or not, but we're doing our best. Sure, go ahead. What's your social media? Or how can I contact you? Sorry, chat, I'm putting a pause on things. Are we getting one guy? We're getting plot twist, we're getting one guide again. Chat, is this real? Check your DMs. Ignore all choices and lock into Lily. That's what we kind of been trying to do. You're clearly on Lily's route. Hopefully. Hopefully. Listen, I've played enough visual novels to know that you're not on somebody's route until it says in the little in the like chapter menu thing that you're on their route. It's so easy to get fooled into thinking you're actually on somebody's route, and then you make one wrong choice, and actually their route was actually the precursor for somebody else's route, and now you're locked into somebody else's because you accidentally triggered the secret options or whatever the hell. Or you mess up and it throws you off of their route before it like officially locks you in. Link Circo's Twitter in Matcha. Thank you, thank you, thank you! Thank you, okay, we got distracted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Unless you're inside, then you're not on their route. What? What? That doesn't happen here. I'm also a Katawa Shoujo developer. Are you, Emred? Are you? Are you? I'm not sure. Sorry, I lied. I hate you. Go kill yourself. Okay, anyways. Given that there are no staff around, I guess there's no need to heed the usual library rules. I call out to her. Hey, Hanako! Hanako is here? As she hears our voices, Hanako's head flicks up from behind a book. Probably the same one she'd been reading on Friday.
Lisa, Lily?
Just thought we'd drop by. Lily just managed to escape from the noodle stall with a little help. That wasn't really an escape. Hanako gives a small giggle, briefly surprising both of us.
I just thought that Lily might not be enjoying the festival.
Well, now we can enjoy it together, right? The two nod happily before we set out of the library and towards the festivities. I hand over some change to the girl behind the counter and take the 2 styrofoam cups of tea. I try to accentuate my bow a bit to cover for the fact that she's quite obviously deaf. Come to think of it, I probably should have asked for help instead of leaving those 2 in the gardens while I bought drinks. Trying to juggle the 2 cups of hot tea for them and a can of coffee for myself out of a vending machine isn't exactly easy. This is very simple. What you do, I'm experienced in this, okay? What you do is you take your shirt and you like roll it up like a little bit, right? And you hold it with one hand. And you kind of like loop your shirt into like your pinky a little bit. And then you grab the cup, right? And you have your shirt hooked to your pinky as like a kangaroo pouch. You're a marsupial now. You can also, if your pinky is too weak, you can also kind of like use like more fingers and stuff. Depends on how good of a grip you can get. And then you put the can of coffee in your marsupial pouch and you carry 1 cup of hot tea in either hand. Trust me, I'm very experienced with hoarding a bunch of shit to my room instead of just making multiple trips. It actually works. It actually works. Try it. Try it. That's like it could spill. It would not spill, right? If you hook your shirt up like the right way while you're carrying the thing, while you're carrying 1 cup. Right? You have 1 cup in one hand and you're holding like your shirt like a pouch, like a pocket. And you put the can in there. And then you can have 1 hot tea in either hand. Back pockets exist. You're not putting fucking
cans in your pockets. Just use your pockets. Do you have pockets big enough for cans? Don't you spill things on yourself like half the time you stream? That's beside the point. That doesn't have anything to do with my advanced carrying techniques. Alright? You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up right now. We don't talk about that. With some careful maneuvering, though, I managed to keep everything stable and upright as I walk over to the bench where Lily and Hanako are sitting and chatting. Thanks for the tech. You're welcome! It's actually quite a nice place. Lit only by moonlight, it's tucked away some distance from the main events. Compared to how hot it had been during the day, this spot is also pleasantly cool by now. Not that it matters all that much. Most of the visitors have moved to the areas that are either closer to the fireworks or higher on the hill in order to view the display apparently planned. She's blind, she can't see them, so it doesn't matter. Welcome back, 𝐴𝐸. Her ears are good. I'm not exactly close, and even Hanako hadn't noticed me. Here you go. Sorry it's instant, but that's all they had left by now. Hanako gingerly takes a cup from my right hand, and I gently place the other into Lily's outstretched hands. Did you enjoy the festival then, 𝐴𝐸? Yeah, it was pretty fun. An honest answer. Much of the food may have been somewhat subpar, but it was a lot of fun in the end, especially with Hanako and Lily. In fact, I think those two may have enjoyed themselves even more than I did. With both Lily and me around, much of Hanako's withdrawn nature around others died down enough for her to enjoy herself. Wow! Oh, they're actually animated! Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to guess here. Rather than being actually animated, are these PNGs of fireworks laid over the background and set with like a dissolve animation set on like repeat, like in engine? Hell yeah. The other PNGs? Yeah, fucking dissolve effect. Pixelated dissolve, yeah. That's really clever though. It works out really well. It works really, really well. I'm being blinded though. As we sit drinking, the whistle of the fireworks rings out before it explodes and explodes into a vibrant shower of blue against the night sky, heralding the beginning of the end for the festival. Enthusiastic shouts can be heard from the crowds scattered around the school grounds celebrating them. For minutes on end, Hanako and I watch the fireworks overhead as Lily blissfully listens to them with her eyes shut. Red, green, yellow, star-shaped, circular, and patterned, and all manner of shapes and colors fill the air, one after the other, and dance across the sky. No place near where I lived put on such elaborate displays. Festivals like this were a thing of the past in such a metropolitan area. To see such a sight with these two, it's probably the happiest I've been in a long while. So, that's it. The festival's finally ending. Yeah. She gives a delicate, wistful sigh. As much as I might complain about all the stuff we have to do, it's still sad that we'll have graduated before the next Yamaku festival. She's getting closer to me. I walk forwards and stand beside Lily, gently resting a hand on her shoulder. Oh, we're making a move! Sorry. Don't worry, we still have Tanabata later in the year, right? You're right. It would be nice to go there when it comes. Minutes of silence pass with only the blast of fireworks to be heard. Seeing these two reminds me of those words of advice Lily had given me as we walked into town together. Cherish the opportunity to make new friends, huh? Hey, Lily? She turns her head slightly to show that she's listening, Hanako's gaze still firmly fixed on the Technicolor fireworks bursting overhead. You mind if I join you two for tea every now and again? The smile on her face is more than enough to see her answer. It would be a pleasure, 𝐴𝐸. Yeah, we're basically— Ah! It's animated!
house! That's my wife! Ah! Oh my god, there's more animation! Oh, the blush! It's over. That was so sad. What the fuck? That was so very melancholic. What the hell? And then his heart came out and he died. Ah, well, it is a little bit early. A little bit early, but this seems like a good point to wrap up on. A little bit earlier than usual, but we can officially start on Lily's route with the next stream. Oh, man. Gives us some time to talk about it, though. Holy shit. Do all the characters have animated cutscenes like that? When you lock into their route? I'll have to work. Bye. Have a good day at work. That was a rush of emotions, yeah. I kind of want to watch it again. I don't know if I actually have it unlocked. I should probably save. I don't know if you can... I guess show images probably CGs, maybe? Oh, no. That's just... hides the stuff. I said now, thank you. When I was in high school youth group, every trip we went on, I spilled something on myself from drinks to sauces. I'm pretty good about that as well. Rewind your own stream. Main menu. We did save. Probably in extras. Jukebox, gallery, library, cinema? I guess it's this one. Let's watch it one more time. Cute little detail of her locating her cup. Well, that's thank you. Not when locking in, but to intro act 2. Ah. I wonder... What was that? What was that meant to be? That's like Akira walking away and then Lily walking away? Like loops on top? I wonder... you'll have to find out. Rumham, thank you. Marmot time. Don't worry about it. We'll find out. Maybe she had hoped to follow the same path as Akira? Or something? I don't know. Or maybe it's a different person entirely. I don't know. One more time, one more time, one more time. One more time, one more time. I'm trying to get like all the details, chat. I'm trying to get all... Maybe it symbolizes her past self. Maybe. No actual spoilers though, please. No actual spoilers. If you know, don't tell me. So there's Akira walking away from them. Yeah. And then Lily, like, flashes as well. I feel like the airplane has significance. I would assume the airplane is like a more symbolic thing? Maybe? Or, oh wait, no, it wouldn't be. If... I guess this is kind of like metaing a bit, because you guys told me she's... Or I don't remember if they tell you in the story, but she's half Japanese, like she's, her family's from overseas and stuff, so maybe that's like part of it. Maybe that's gonna be part of her story, is her going to be having to decide whether or not she wants to go back to wherever her family's from, or... Half Japanese, half Scottish. It's dangerous to speculate with a live chat, true. Decimator, thank you. The fact that you're going for Lily's route and the writer themselves is actually insane. She was my first route as well. That is pretty insane. That's a bit crazy. Asinyan, thank you. When I was in high school youth group, every trip we went on... Manny Salgati, thank you. Some routes are about Hisao becoming a healthy adolescent. But Lily's route is the best because it focuses on her drive instead. As for what that entails, you'll just have to wait and see. The unspoken thing can come to PP. I will say I prefer... That's good for me, because I prefer with visual novels. I feel like... Mr. Pachelis is super short tonight. Can you send it? Dr. Jack, thank you. Lily's blind. How could she fly an airplane? I feel like... As a visual novel enjoyer who has played a fair amount, not like an outrageous amount, but has played some visual novels. I think it's more interesting when the story focuses on the characters you're interacting with. I know a lot of people will say, oh, but the character you're playing as shouldn't just be like an empty shell, or it's more boring when the character is a self-insert. But I feel like you can have your cake and eat it too with visual novels, right? Like you can have a character... you can have a protagonist, or you can have a player character, we'll say, that is like has their own motivations and has their own personality without focusing on their story particularly, right? Like we'll see over time how the other characters affect our character's story. I know the appeal of like it being more of the main character story is like, this is your adventure and these are the people you meet along the way and this is how your destiny unfolds with them. But I don't know, part of the appeal of visual novels to me is that we get to spend so much time with characters and we get to talk to them and see different sides of them, and like we get to have experiences with characters that we don't get in any other kind of game, which is what makes visual novels so special, in my opinion. I mean, there's some other games that are very like character driven and you do get to see that. It's pretty rare, in my opinion. So yeah, with visual novels, I'd rather like be a side character to the other character's story. You know what I mean? Because there's so much more potential there to see what they're going to do, to see how their personality manifests this or that future, or how their personality would affect their relationship with other characters that are in the scenario as well. That's another thing I don't like about some visual novels, is you lock into somebody's route, everybody else just fucking disappears. I hate that shit so much. But then there's also the problem where like you lock into somebody's route and then it's like other characters get more focus than the actual character you're interacting with, and it's like it's so rare that there's like a happy medium between the two, you know what I mean? You just be a voyeur. I mean, your interactions still can have like consequences and stuff. It's just, it's hard to balance. Yeah, it's hard to balance. I don't know. I feel like what's interesting about visual novels is you can see like one story from a bunch of different sides. And so I'd rather the story focus on the characters that are driving like an overarching plot, or each character has like their own plot that you can explore the different sides of, rather than it be the main character, rather than it being the player character's overarching story, rather than it being the player character's story that other characters are just like tagging along for, you know what I mean? The MC could be fleshed out character too, otherwise a VN becomes an erotic VN. I mean, a VN becomes an erotic VN if there's erotic stuff happening in it. I don't mind either, as long as the story is moving. I'm not feeling things, it doesn't matter if the MC is empty or not. I do err on that side of things. I personally don't care if the main character is just a self-insert. It really doesn't matter to me.
I think it's a little bit silly when they do stuff like making the main, like making the player character like such a ridiculous self-insert that it's like, oh, the fucking hair over the hair over the eyes and blah 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 blah. Like, that's dumb to me. That being said, I also am the type of person that always uses the canon names for the player character. Does anybody else ever do that? I don't like it. Like, I'm fine with it being like a self-insert character, right? But I'd rather it just be like a wet blanket character rather than actually view it as myself.
Tomorrow, thank you. Happy International Women's Day to my Yoshi while it's still the day. Depends on the game. You mean as opposed to saying me? Well, like if I named Nakai Pippa, right? Like, that would be... I wouldn't like reading my name in all the cutscenes and stuff. I like how it's how are you doing, Hisao, right? Rather than how are you doing, Pippa. I can't get that immersed, right? I like to like enjoy the story and I get immersed at points versus like trying to like force like full immersion all the time. Dressed up both us, thank you. Just watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in theater tonight. In theater. Kind of fits the stream spirit. Cried a lot at the end. I read the book during middle school and I can't believe that Danny DeVito was in it. Huh? Was he? It works for games where you can self-insert, like RPGs, like Skyrim. Yeah. Even then, I generally prefer to do, like, a character. I don't ever name characters in games after myself. Because then it's like when I'm doing serious playthroughs of it. Like, if I'm playing something on my own time, I'm not giving my character my own name. Because I would rather view my character as, like, their own character. You know what I mean? I'm not calling my fucking Skyrim character Pipkin Pippa. I'm calling them fucking a canonical, more accurate name for their race and gender. Or coming up with my own backstory for them or whatever. And just kind of like enjoying the experience like that. You know? Actually, roleplay. It's not like I'm like LARPing hardcore with it or whatever, but it's like I'd rather it be that character story because it's too jarring for me, right? When it's like there's dialogue options and it's like none of these are what I'd pick. You know? Like I wouldn't pick any of these. I wouldn't say anything like this. This isn't what I want to do. I wouldn't make any of these choices. Uncle Man, thank you. Yeah, I hate seeing my name committing atrocities. Direct, thank you. I prefer default names at the very least. Full self-insertion makes me uncomfortable. I give them headcanon characters and have fun with it. Same. Nothing wrong with immersing yourself in your own story. I have a specific name I use when it is meant to be what would I do run, but not my own name, and still exaggerated meant to fit. Same sometimes. Same. Like almost like an alter ego for yourself, right? It's like it's kind of like it's still like a self-insert for you, but it's like a fantasy version. You know? Something where it's like you don't have to commit to this being yourself. It's you, but different. You, but what you'd like to be, or whatever. Crowbars, thank you. I don't do the self-insert thing. It's too much of a I'm too much of a sarcastic asshole for it to fit. Space Guy Ride, thank you. What would a Phase Connect 𝐴𝐻𝑡𝐴𝑚 be like, Pippa? Would it take place in Phase World School? I guess it would take place in Phase World. Basically how people view D&D characters as an extension of them in a different setting, but not them. Yeah. Sorry, thank you. I know the word gets thrown around a lot, but this game is truly comfy. I was infantry before my injury. I can always LARP as a grunt. Hi, Sawa. Haha, Katawa Chupa would be great. Little parody game. The phase we end catchphrase would be, it's just a phase. I have a singular OC that is pretty close to my actual personality, just slightly different. Alrighty. Let me catch up on the super chats. I keep clicking the wrong thing.
I always have a bit of a... like a brief moment of panic when I open up Discord. I'm always scared that I'll open up Discord and it'll like auto capture on the OBS and it'll be like a link to something that is like a sponsor project, or it'll be like somebody's chat log, like they're venting to me or whatever, and like that shit pops up on screen, and then it's like, oh my god, I always get so fucking paranoid about that. I get so much anxiety. I get so much anxiety launching up Discord, because it's like I never know if OBS is gonna auto capture, and I don't remember where it left off on. You know what I mean? With how fast things go, understandable. Oops, all slurs the DM. No! Trauma dumps are not appropriate. It's just like sometimes... like, it's not like a crazy common thing or whatever, right? But it's like if somebody sends you a DM that's like, oh man, I feel so overwhelmed by this. I wish I could just like quit, or I'm... like when people say shit that like is like a in the moment thing or whatever, like I'm always so nervous that I'm gonna like click on to fucking Discord and like it's that shit left open and it's like and then it's like I just don't want to be responsible for anything, you know? I don't want to be responsible for anything.
Everyone gets stressed about their jobs.
Or like with sponsor stuff, right? Like sponsors will send links to stuff, and there's nothing stopping people from just typing in the link if it flashes on screen. And it scares the hell out of me that I'll like fuck something up, like secret projects and shit, because I accidentally flashed it on screen and pissed off a sponsor and we lost them or whatever.
Responsibility does suck. It does. It does.
So usually when I'm on Discord, I've kind of sort of gotten into the habit where I always just click on the direct messages button in the top left. Because that way it just displays like everybody that I'm talking to, right? It doesn't show like any logs for anything. You know? It's just, here's the Discord. You can see all of my bajillion unanswered DMs and it's fine. Workplace hazards. Get a second computer. But I need my Discord to be able to check like the unread super chats. I need to be able to open Discord to check unread super chats and to be able to respond to management and do work stuff. Like, you could check Discord on your phone instead of the PC. I could, but then I can't also like quickly bring stuff over if I need to, or look on your phone. Super chat is sent by mail. Maybe the phone thing would work. I don't know. Right click, delete all. Where did my list go? Where did my list go? Oh my god! Thank you for the $100! Thank you! Hey there, stumbled across your channel and I like the way you think. I'm not really into VTuber stuff, but I appreciate the work of those behind the mask. Sending this with thoughts of encouragement that you are happy and healthy in life. Thank you. Zara, thank you. How does a girl with no arms/legs not need glasses? Oh my god. PTN Fade, thank you. Rin looks like she needs a hand with something. 𝐶𝑯𝑨𝒀𝑏𝗫, thank you. Kenji looks like Harry Potter. Background noise, thank you. He needs tinfoil glasses. Chad Maximum, thank you. That guy is not gonna make it. Ken Laggy, thank you. Don't go the amputee route. She's not within arm's reach. 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭, thank you. Kenji was so based until he started talking shit about Lily. This will not be forgiven. True. Background noise, thank you. Using a deep fryer while blind. Bad idea. True. Hell, thank you. I'm a Pippa dev. I write all her material. I'm sorry. Invested, thank you. I'm a Katawa Shoujo developer. I played Katawa Shoujo and developed my very own disability. Autism. Hell yeah. 𝐶𝑯𝑨𝒀𝑏𝗫, thank you. I don't even get this blinded from welding. Crowbars, thank you.
Crowbars, thank you. Kenji is having Nom flashbacks in his room. Crowbars, thank you. Is she going to put her thumbs in his eyes to read his mind? Richard Slammer, thank you for the $5. And thank you. Cozy stream, great voice acting. Pippa love. Dr. Jex, thank you. Lily's blind. How could she fly in an airplane? Gustavo Sessa, Manita, thank you. Also, I got banned in the Face Connect Discord for being a troublemaker and an imbecile. Let's go. Skill issue, honestly. Alrighty. Alrighty, I'm gonna pick somebody to raid. Oh, I'm gonna end the poll first. Poll. Fuck. I don't know what I need. I'm tired. I think I just need sleep. I think I just need some more sleep. Who is live right now? Mariume is... I'm not sure what she's doing. Is she still alive? It says she's been alive since 5. We'll see if she's still alive. Oh, Sheena's doing a collab! Oh wait, we should raid Sheena. We should raid Sheena. We like never get to do Sheena raids. Oh, there it is. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. My name's Petkin Peppa. I'm going to go bug my parents to make dinner. So, thank you. It's interesting to watch someone play through routes I haven't yet. I stumbled onto Emmy's route my first time, though Rins is my favorite. Enjoy. Thank you, thank you. Oh, it's a great! Bye-bye! Tilde fluffles away, Tilde. Tilde fluffles away, Tilde. Tilde fluffles away, Tilde. Basement grind set never stops, boys. Tilde fluffles away, Tilde.